Hello and welcome back. Today we have another book, Feel the Fear and Do It Anyways by Susan Jeffers. This is a great book, especially at these times where fear is looming around us. Fear is one of the biggest reasons why people are stuck in life. And this is a very bad dilemma. Why can't we move? Why aren't we progressing? Why aren't we moving in life and enjoying and having the things that we want to have? This is a very deep question, and there are many reasons for why aren't we moving. And one of these reasons is fear. We are afraid. We have many things to be afraid of. We have the fear of ill health, the fear of death, the fear of poverty, the fear of loneliness, the fear of rejection and loss. We have a lot of things to be afraid of. And in order for us to move in life, we have to understand fear and we have to conquer it. And this book is designed just for that. So let's try to, break fear together. We have a lot of lessons and then we have levels of fear. So let's try to understand them. There is level number one of fear, which is external fear. Fear of things outside of your mind and outside of your abilities, like fear of death and fear of rejection and so on and so forth. So that would be level number one. Then we have level number two, which is internal fear. The fear of, imagining not succeeding, imagining bad things happening to you, just thinking deep down in your mind that bad things will happen, having intrusive thoughts, thinking that tomorrow is going to be difficult just as today or even worse. So this is internal fear, and it's even worse than level one, the external fear. But then the author has the level number three, which she calls the real fear. The real fear, where she refers to by I can't handle it, which is the fear of not being able to handle the rejection and the bad things after they happen. So you have external fear, for example, that you will get rejected and you are not going to succeed. And you might have internal fear about other things happening. The worst kind, the real fear, is level number three, is thinking that you cannot handle it, you cannot take it, you will not bear the pain after the rejection or the loss of whatever you have. And most people do not actually reach that fear because they stop at level one or two. They don't move in life, they don't start their project, they don't move and achieve what they want because they are afraid externally of the things that happened or internally of the things that might just happen. So these are the three levels of fear. And how can we handle them? All right. Now the question is, do I understand fear? If these three levels are the basic structure of understanding, let's take 5 steps to break them one by one. First, you can never overcome fear by hoping. You have to overcome fear by taking action. I know that this is easier said than done, just like many things we talk about, but taking an action is the only way. Shock and, surprising yourself. You're not going to become this imaginary version of yourself, this powerful, prolific, and amazing and loyal, whatever version you picture yourself, this courageous, ultimate version of you. This is not going to happen overnight, and it's not going to happen if you are just thinking about it. The law of attraction, the hoping, the wishing, this is not a strategy. We talked before on habits and strategies and systems. You have to have a system and habit even for making a decision and even for taking a step. And whenever you see yourself afraid of something, try to break it down and, take one challenge after the other. If you are afraid, for example, of talking to people, try to make small talks, small conversations to the people around you, people that you don't know of, but you have high probability of making conversation with them, and so on and so forth. All right. Number 2, to get educated about fear and to know how to manage it better. Now, no one is ever absolutely empty of fear. No one is absolutely courageous and afraid of nothing. Everyone has something to be afraid of. The fear of the unknown, especially the fear of oneself, the fear of loss and failure, and even the fear of success. I did not even believe that when I read about it, but it turns out there is actually a fear of success. Some people are afraid to succeed because if they succeeded, some people would turn on them. Some people would think they are evil now, or money would change them, and success would make them arrogant and so on. So they are afraid of succeeding, and they think that this would change them. So you have to understand that this is false. You have to set your mind straight on the techniques that make you afraid and then how to break them. All right? Because your mind is trying to play mind games on you. So understand how the game works for yourself. Number 3 is to take responsibility for your life. As Stephen R. Covey says, the word responsibility is broken into 2 parts, response and ability, which is the ability to respond to whatever life throws at you. And just like internally it happens in your mind that you are afraid of things going wrong, why don't you imagine things going fine, going just fine? As things always happen, try to imagine them positively going fine and then working upon this reality. Or try not to imagine at all. Try to be engaged in what you're doing right now. Don't leave a chance for intrusive thoughts and bad ideas to come into your mind. Maybe thinking is not your way. Some people say you have to think in your mind and make reality, and that's the difference between success and so on. It's not necessary. Thinking is not the only thing that makes you succeed. Hard work and systems and habits and good company and friends and family and genetics and economics and country and so on, and talents and gifts and time and age, a lot of things, a lot of factors contribute. So do not be afraid that you are not going to replicate someone's experience. Just be your experience, be yourself, and take charge of your life. All right? 4th thing is to try to have a meaningful life. And this is, this is a message of the prophets. If we talk about a prophet, for example, Moses, he was one of the most prophets that was mentioned, and fear was a big part of his life. He was afraid of the magicians when he saw the snakes, and he was afraid when he killed someone by accident and left Egypt. He was afraid where he saw a lot of things that happened in his life. His whole life was a miracle. But at the end of his story, or near the end of his story, when he was faced by the army of the Pharaoh and he stood in front of the river, he said, "God is with me." He was not afraid for a second. So his story, we can see his development and his faith strengthening in God. And he was not afraid at the end. He was so trusting in Allah, and he became courageous with the belief. So this is something we all have to take role models from him and from all the prophets. And we can know that fear then is something that can be developed. All right? And the last thing is to surround yourself with people who support you and tell you, we trust you and we believe in you. And even if you don't have any of these people around you, try to be this comforting guy. Try to become a reliable person. Try to become the backbone, the person that everyone is coming to hide behind when things get tough, just like our Prophet, peace be upon him, was, and his companions were hiding behind him when things get tough in war. So become this guy. Take role models of the prophets and of the giants and titans that you want to become like. Fear is a real thing. It happens to all of us, but it's something that we can overcome, and we have to overcome to reach all our dreams. And I hope that you all break through fear and have amazing lives. Thank you very much, and I will see you next time.